Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes Iron Man mode on the Rebirth server. We are with our level 7 Defender, Crimson Arrow, and we are on a Hollow story arc, and we're going to defeat some outlaws, outcasts in their second base, because there are a couple of bases and we're taking them out. So this guy's a Defender. We're looking to try to get at least to level 12 with this guy before he dies for the first time. That will mean that he's beaten a couple of the other characters. If you remember, the level 19 character, our Guardian, had an unfair advantage. I forgot to set him on bosses until the very end, and he ended up being defeated by a lieutenant anyway, which was fitting. Oh my gosh, I forgot to bring in inspirations. Oh well, we're stuck. But we should be alright. We do have the ability to decrease their to-hit. And these guys aren't super high level, so we should be okay. Let's go ahead and glue him as well. One thing that bothers me is that glue arrow is not as long range as the blinding arrow. So I think I might want to put a range increaser on that. That's, you know, when I'm talking about what you'd want to do for enhancing, this entirely speculative. It's only if you get to SOs. Most of the rest of, most of what I'm saying you would do would not work too well with, wouldn't work at all with trainers, and probably wouldn't work that well with DOs. You'd want to put like 2 accuracy DOs on the thing rather than a range increaser, because the accuracy DOs only give you half as much of an increase in your accuracy over base compared to what an SO would do. Are we being suddenly ambushed here? Well, our guy is doing pretty good damage. I wonder if they buffed defender damage versus launch, because he's doing a lot of damage. And we've got some good inspirations now. This is why I didn't worry about it too much coming in here. As long as we have inspirations for fighting a boss, we should be okay. There are always exceptions. Obviously, if you over aggro, right, you could have a problem. So we found a key to wherever they're going, wherever we're going, but we've got to defeat everybody in here. So we got to cover every inch of the place and make sure we beat up everybody. So we have to move about a step further, closer, between the glue arrow and the blindness arrow. Now the nice thing about that Nemesis staff is that it does knockback, and so as they run out of the glue, you can knock them back into it, which is pretty cool. Not something I think that a trick arrow character would normally have, or archery. I don't think any of these do knockback. Right, so there isn't a there isn't one of these arrows that, like, sometimes you see in the comic books, it comes out, it looks like a boxing glove, and it does a lot of sort of physical damage. Okay, we got some yellow cons here, so we're definitely going to want to both glue and blind them. I do like that the blinding arrow does not aggro them. And that glue definitely helps in that they waste a lot of time trying to run out of it instead of attacking you, which is awesome. Probably the single biggest difficulty this guy is going to have is he has no self-heals. So we're going to need to carry plenty of heal inspirations as the levels go on. By the way, I do want to say, I'm not, like, obviously I try to survive with all my characters, and as you've seen, I've only been killed, when I've done something stupid or blundered into something, and it happens. But when I talk about, well, we're probably never going to see 22nd level, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to get there. But it does mean that I recognize the likelihood of getting to SOs is pretty low, given that so far we've tried 4 or 5 different characters. Oh, are we being ambushed? We tried 4 or 5 different characters, and those characters have none of them have made it to level 22. 19 is the highest we've done. So somehow or other I aggroed those other guys. They must have been very close. Or they were on patrol. See if we can blind this guy. Too late. I was going to say let's blind him and try to reduce the aggro range, but I saw him too late. So we're definitely going to need our heal here. Just make sure he stays blinded. Reduces his to hit. He's still hitting me a lot, but okay. So we found some salvage and some recipes, most of which don't matter at this level. And we've gained a lot of XP already because of the +1 enemies. Alright, so we need to go upstairs and make sure there's nobody upstairs, because this is a defeat all. So if we leave anybody here, we're going to have to come back anyway. Yep, there's a guy. We're doing pretty well against these guys, I think, overall. Trying to save my inspirations as I can for the final fight, which might be a boss. We don't really need the blue, but we'll keep it for now. Let's look through the rest of this level here and just make sure there's nobody else. Okay, looks good. Time to go down the elevator, or up the elevator. Up the elevator. So we have to recover 2 artifacts. We did click 1. So we're looking for 2 more. And there is a boss. Okay. Let's glue him. We don't have a break free, which is unfortunate. But I've glued him, so he's stuck now and he can't shoot me yet. I'm trying to kill... Yeah, I was trying to kill the initiate first. Let's go ahead and take the rest of our inspirations here. Alright, so it's now us against the boss. We could use a break free here, unfortunately. We don't have one. But that knockdown is great. Let's make sure he stays blinded. His, interesting, his hold is not working on me. I wonder why. And our inspirations are about to run out, so that's not good. But we're getting the glue back, which is perfect. Ha 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 ha. Just stopped him from being able to run away, and also stopped him from attacking us, and we've got him. Not bad, guys. And there's another glowy around here somewhere. We do not need that. And there's one more to find, which I hear and see on the map. I hear, comma, and see on the map. I hear it on the map, obviously. And that is the mission. And it sounds like that's the end of the story arc. That means we might level up when we call Dave Wincott. So let's give him a call. And we have leveled up, and we get introduced to Flux. He's the one who's going to send us up ultimately against our buddy Frostfire. But first, let us head to Foreshadow, which I really love that name. What a cool name. Yeah, I've said this before. They come up with some really cool names for superheroes in this game. I don't like her story arc, but I like Twin Shot. That's a cool name. So poison gas arrow weakens all foes. Affected foes will damage will be reduced. They choke. All of these are good, guys. I want them all. Hasten would be nice too. I'm really torn. I want to do the damage with Fistful of Arrows. I feel like we need this, and then we're going to start working on our primary with greater enthusiasm. Because when we glue them, usually they're stuck close together, and then we can shoot the Fistful of Arrows and back up. So I think that's what we're going to want to do. Also, I want to sell to this person. We're not going to sell the salvage, of course. We have 16,000, so I think we could sell it for like 160,000. I think we still need to wait. You know, we'll put it up for a couple hundred thou, but we still need to wait so that I don't want to just spend all of our influence on posting to the auction house. So another comment about aggro range. We were talking earlier that turning on super speed reduces the range, say from this to this, right? Also, the aggro distance depends on the con, right? So if these guys have an aggro radius from there out to say here without super speed on, if they're a white con, as a blue con, the aggro radius would be like here, right? As a green con, it would be here. And so they have a smaller aggro range toward you depending on the relative level, as well as things like you having super speed on. So that's why, like, I could run right over the top of these gray cons. They're not going to aggro to me because I have super speed on and they have a very low aggro radius toward me. So we're going to go arrest some outcasts. We have to defeat 10. Well, they're right here. I know they're gray cons, but let's just take care of them. And let's start with Fistful of Arrows and see how it works. Yeah, we got a couple of them. Does some good damage. Let's blind them. So we're definitely going to want to put accuracy on this thing because it seems like it's missing about a third of the time. Let's take a look at the info. Its base accuracy is 1.15x, so it's actually pretty good, but we still want to definitely buff the accuracy. So the idea here is blind, glue, fist. And there we go, and it gets everybody in that radius, which is quite nice. And it recharges pretty... I like... one thing I like about the arrow, the archery set, is it recharges really fast. I mean, we basically have a closed attack chain with 3 attacks. We always have one of them up. And I love the visuals. So cool. Nice set. Let's find some more outcasts here. There. Okay. And somebody remind me when we go back to Flux, we've got to ask him for some inspirations. There we go. We just shot 3 of them. That's nice. And we'll glue them. Yes, that's a great power. I like it. I could totally see myself playing a character like this as a long-term character. I really like him. Alright, so we've got all 10 defeated. Now we're going back to Flux. So yeah, after I delete this character, I might recreate him or something like him. And actually play it for real. Not record it, of course. So we're going to go to the store. Alright, so we definitely need break free. We need heals. We'll go with sturdy luck, and those are kind of similar, and then 1 of each, and we're good. And now we can do his missions, and we're going to defeat the leaders and their crews. Okay, these guys might be bosses. If it's multiple bosses, we could have some issues here, but because this set of inspirations will help me against 1, maybe 2 bosses. If it's more than 2, it could be trouble. In we go. By the way, as we level, you'll notice super speed getting faster and faster. It was originally, and I've told this about travel powers, they originally, they came in at level 14, and then they got faster as they went. You can take them early now, but they're much weaker, and it takes them a long time to, a lot of levels. By the time you're like level 12 or so, it gets close to the way it was, the way it would be when you got it at level 14. And let's fistful. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the damage this character's doing for a defender. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, blind. Fistful. There we go. I love being able to take him out down like 14 hit points right from the beginning, you know? Glue. Fist. There we go. That glue works great. I really love it. Excellent power. And I'm very much looking forward to both the hold and the poison gas as well. I don't know which we should get first. I feel like the poison gas, like stack the AoEs, blind everybody, glue everybody, poison them. Sounds pretty cool. Now let's see if we can pull this guy. Nope, they're all coming. Well, 2 of them are coming, so it's not too bad. That was an okay pull. So I am waiting for him to come a little closer, mostly just so that I can try to get more than 1 of them in the Fistful of Arrows arc. Nice. Oh, and there's the lieutenant, so we gotta be careful. Let's hit the lieutenant with the blind arrow, so that he does not aggro to me. So he shouldn't see me, right? Because he's had his vision and aggro radius dramatically reduced. There we go. And now we can glue him. Definitely with these trolls, you want to keep them at range, because they do have, you know, guns, as he just shot at me, proves, right? But they tend to do a lot more damage in melee, so you want to try and keep them at range. So let's try to knock him back into the glue. Obviously, this is not something I ever had to worry about with a scrapper, or a tanker, or a brute, or a stalker. You're up there in close melee range. But with a character like this, you want to try to stay out of his punch range, if you can. And we got him. Not bad, guys. Not bad at all. 2 bombs to disarm. And we have to defeat leaders and their crews, whatever that means. Okay, once again. Glue. Okay, and then we'll try to take out this guy. Let's see if we can get them both in the radius. Missed the first guy, but we got the second guy. Now can we knock Chutal back? Nope. Tried but failed. So the AoE is, of course, not super efficient to use against a single target, but it's kind of all we've got right now, and it's all we're going to have for a while, because now we're going to start working our primary, right? We've got an attack chain, right? We can do damage, we can enhance these powers. So now we've got to try to increase our primary. Got him. So yeah, I mean, my guess is we're going to want to do Ice Arrow, Poison Arrow, and maybe Acid Arrow? Wow, another lieutenant. This is a rough mission for level 8. And we're going to eventually want to get Aim and Blazing Arrow. These are all good. One of the things that's rough about a power set that's got lots of good powers is you want them all. And you can't get them all. At least not until you're in your 20s. And guys, it was so much worse, or so much more of a struggle to get the powers, like the best powers, when you had to get Swift, Health, and Stamina at these levels as well. You basically, these are the powers you'd have, right? Because we would have had to get Hasten at level 6. We wouldn't have Super Speed yet. By level 10, at level 10, we'd probably be getting Swift. 12, we maybe get one more power. Super Speed at 14, Health at 16, another power, and then at 20, Stamina. And so we'd only be able to get like maybe one more primary, one more secondary, all the way to like level 22. And there are the leaders, it looks like. And there's a clue over there. So let's blind. Glue. And start shooting. They're lieutenants, so we should be okay. Let's grab a sturdy. And do a little more damage. I don't want to use them all because I don't know if there might be a boss later on. I don't know if these guys are the only leaders. They are named lieutenants, right? Rundum and this other guy. But I don't know if they're the only leaders or if there are more, you know. I'm trying to husband my inspirations. This guy's called Greased Lightning. You think a lot of yourself, buddy. Alright. Not bad. And what I really should do is do this more often, right? They're now blinded for like a minute. Now I can come over here and blind these guys. And now those guys will not aggro when I fight these guys. Or they shouldn't. I should have done that first. So I guess proper strategy would be come in here with super speed, if possible, or get some stealth. Come in here with stealth, super speed, right? And go around the room and blind everybody, and then attack the two lieutenants. That probably would have been the correct strategy. So that these guys didn't... I mean, I was able to do it without them aggroing, but you want to make sure these guys don't aggro to you while you're fighting the lieutenants, because that would be death. Right? We've seen that before. I've made that mistake before. Let's take a knee. These guys are still blinded, and they're not going to aggro, so... I mean, I'm going to reapply the blind, because it's about to run out. And now I want them to be, like... their accuracy against me to be low, right? So there are two ways to use this blind arrow. One is going into a fight to make it harder for them to hit you, right? But the other way is to hit hit a spawn with it so that they don't aggro to you while you're fighting a nearby spawn. And that's not something I'm used to. I've literally never had a character who had the ability to de-aggro one spawn while fighting another. So it's going to take me a while to get used to this. I don't know if we're going to die before I get used to it. But if I do get used to it, it's going to be very useful. There are 2 bombs to disarm. We haven't found a bomb, but we do have a clue over here. So we found a clue, which is a torn page from a journal. We haven't found any bombs yet. There's 2 ways to go. I have no idea which way the bombs are, so we'll just wander around. Come in a little closer, you can look and see if there's another spawn that might aggro to you. Oh, don't like that. Did he knock me down with a pistol shot? I thought only shotguns knocked you down. Wow. This guy looks like he's just sitting there, even though he's unconscious. He looks like he's just kind of sitting there hanging out. There's a bomb, and there's a Jutal with it. We should be alright. Okay, I'm going to back up. Let's see if we can knock him back. And then glue him. Knock him back again. That Nemesis staff is saving my butt. I guess true Iron Man mode I wouldn't use it, right? Mostly I just do it to fill in the attack chain. So there's one bomb. And we see where the other one is. So let's go get it. I hope you guys are enjoying. This has been pretty cool. We gained a level. We got our new fistful of arrows. I always want to say fistful of dollars. It's an old Clint Eastwood movie. We're doing pretty well. And we glue. And then we fistful. And now we're going to pound the minion. And now the Jutal. Remember the first time I saw these guys, I thought his name was Jutal, but apparently he's a Jutal because there are lots of Jutals. So it's a title, not a name. Not sure what it means. It probably means something in some language or other. If anybody knows, feel free to leave in the comments what does Jutal mean. Does it say in the info? No, it's just talking about a troll. Okay. Alright, well, I guess we're going to try to do these guys one at a time. We're not going to blind the guys inside because I don't want to aggro these guys up front, which I think I might on the way in or out. Let's fistful. There we go. And we can do fistful again. So now that guy in the back's been hit with 2 fistfuls of arrows, and that already dramatically weakens him, which is cool. 3 times. And you're done. Okay. Alright, so now I think I'm going to hit these guys because they're closer together. And then I'm going to start smacking these guys around. Good, I was able to just pull him. Alright, we're going to renew the blind on these guys. Right, again, trying to make sure they don't aggro to me. And then we can glue these guys. I don't think it'll extend to those guys. Right, so the idea is we can work this spawn without aggroing the other spawn, which was without the blinding arrow would be very difficult to do. Now I didn't blind these guys. I figured it's just 2 of them, and I don't have to worry about it too much. I mean, we can blind him now. We'll reduce his 2-hit a little bit. We definitely will want to enhance that if we ever get to SOs. Alright. So now these guys are still blind. I'm going to refresh it. And then I'm going to try to pull this guy. I don't know if it's going to pull the others. It did. That's alright. Fistful of arrows. Now we're going to back up. Glue. Fistful of arrows. Alright, they're both about the same. Wow, that hurt. Yeah, they do a lot of damage if they get up to you, right? If you let them hit you in melee, they do a lot of damage. A lot less in range. This is a brawler, slicer, slugger, slammer, right? Those guys are going to do a lot more damage in melee range. There we go. And that's the mission, guys. We gained like an entire level, right? Halfway through 7 to halfway through 8. And we can call Flux, and he's happy, and we'll do more missions for him next time. But I think this is probably a good place to stop, since we're over half an hour. Until next time, guys, I am Scrapperlock. This has been City of Heroes Iron Man mode on the Rebirth server.